Hello, welcome to the art class. This is Kayizzi, your art teacher. Today I want us to focus on the elements of art and design. And as you know, this is a topic that cuts across anybody who is doing art, right from senior 1 to senior 6. This is your topic. Now we are going to be able to know what the elements of art are, then the importances of elements of art and design. We shall briefly look at what line and the others are. Then, during the course of this video and this lesson, I will display some artworks that the students have made. Then we try to reflect on how the elements contribute towards an artwork that is quite interesting. Now, to begin with, we are saying elements are the guidelines artists use to create and evaluate artworks. They are the features we see in an artwork. I've given an example, lines and color. Now what you need to know is that every artist uses these elements. You cannot create an artwork minus using those ones. And what you also need to know is that for us artists, we communicate through visual symbols. We don't use words. And those are the things that we refer to as the visual symbols that we are looking for in the work. Now, these are the importances of the elements of art and design. As you can see them here. There are others, but these are the basic. These are the most important importances. I've said they describe the characteristics of an artwork. If you looked at an artwork, you will be in position to see, say, bright colors, rough textures. That is, if you know how the elements contribute to the artwork. They are used to create artworks. I've mentioned that you cannot do an artwork without those ones. Then they help tell the success or failure of an artwork. After marking, some students will tell you, I expected to get 70 or more. How come I have 50? It is simply because somewhere maybe you are not able to utilize those elements as it is expected. Then elements help form part of the common language of art. People who do literature, history have their own words and language. Historians talk about Napoleon. For us here, we talk about elements of art and design. We talk about 3D. We talk about principles of art and design. Now, I've made some illustrations here for you just to try and relate them with the elements that we have on the board at the extreme end. For example, see the use of lines here. So beautiful. We use lines to create patterns, we use lines to shade. Look at the shapes. This is a pot, but it derives its shape from the circle. Then look at the forms. This looks three-dimensional. Then the texture here, and of course the other objects, as you can see. Now, what is line? Line is simply a continuous mark that you create on a surface towards a different or a specific direction. Look at how I've used line here to show you how best line can be utilized to create an artwork. This is a road. Then shape is simply the appearance of an object in 2 dimensions. This is a cube, but the shape, this is a form because it has 3 dimensions. But the shape of this would be a square or a rectangle. But this is now what we refer to as form. It has 3 dimensions. Then let's look at space. Space is simply that area provided. It can be between, within, above, below. An artwork, that is simply shape, space. Then texture is simply the surface quality of an object. If you touched it, what would you see? Is it rough? Is it smooth? I'm going to help you understand how to use them when I make a display of the works I have here. Tone is simply the lightness or darkness of a surface or an object. But that one comes because of light. Where there is light, you'll be able to see the dark parts, the lighter areas, and then you see how to utilize the two. Color is very interesting, and anybody would love to see how color contributes towards a given artwork. We're also going to see how to use color. Now I'm going to ask you to allow me to make a display of these artworks that students made, and then we can have a small discussion about them. For example, look at this still life. We can also have this drawing here. This is a living person done by one of the students. We can also have another one here. These are very nice works, but they can even be done better if you get to understand how elements of art work to complement each other. Okay, I think that's enough. Now let's look at how these students used line as an element of art. For example, look at this. Okay, this is a curved line. That means the student knows that when I'm drawing this kind of object, I don't need a straight line, but I'll need to create that curved line. Now that is line. Look at how the student creates this face and then the jaws. You can see the line that is running. Okay? Then look at the neck area. Look at how he is able to define the lips using lines. Anybody who understands how to use line will definitely create a very nice artwork. There are so many lines you can see here on the cap and the other features. Look at the t-shirt here. The student is able to understand that these hands, the limbs, if you can take it that way, are seen in form of lines. Then how about shape? Look at this head. All heads, even if you have a big head, a small head, it will always be oval. The shape is oval. You cannot draw a head and it looks circular. That will not be the right one that we normally look out for. You will need to create an oval shape first, and then you transform it into a head. That is shape. Then look at space. These students had this as plain paper without anything on them. But look at how they are able to utilize the space provided. Look at the space in between the objects in this composition. Look at the space and how it was used here to create the face. Look at this gap here, which we refer to as a void. That is space. Anybody who knows how to deal with space will definitely create a nice artwork. How about form? If you looked at this cup here, for example, you will even get the temptation to pour water there, because the student has the skill, has developed the skill of creating 3D by shading. Okay, shades and then makes that whole part in there. Then look at these passion fruits. You can feel that you can pick them and then probably throw them somewhere. Look at how the nose here and then the forehead are created just because of tones to create the three-dimensional effect, or what we refer to as form. Texture. I think it is very clear here that you can see different textures here. This is a pineapple. Where you are, it will give you what we call visual texture, because it is seemingly rough, but when you come here, it is actually smooth. This is very good from a student. Look at this. Then go ahead and look at this t-shirt and the kind of texture. It is not what you see on the face. Look at the hair. It is not what you see on the face. So that means that student knows how to deal with different variations of texture. Then tone, that is very simple but not so easy to create. Look at the lighter parts, the dark parts. Look at how the student studies hair, but even hair has some lighter parts, some dark areas. Look at the eyes, look at the t-shirt here. In other words, tone is simply dark and light. Anybody who knows how to regulate those two, definitely the artwork will come out well. Finally, we have color. Color is very interesting. If you were given a very big screen to watch football and it's black and white, then there is a smaller one which is colored. You will definitely go to the one that is colored, because it gives you the red, gives you the blue, which the black cannot. So this alone tells you that color is a very important element of art if it is well utilized and you know how to interplay with those various colors, the work will come out well. Therefore, I'm going to ask you to find time during this lockdown, during this holiday, to do much more work and try to send them to us so that we are able to present them and make an assessment of your improvement. Otherwise, I'll be sending the notes on the slides using the same platform, and I'll expect you to draw down those notes from what we shall have sent. I want to thank you so much for listening and watching the video. Let's meet again next time. I've been your teacher, your art teacher. Wish you the best.